There were no cities, no roads, no farms, no supermarkets, only endless forests, towering trees, dangerous predators, and a constant struggle to survive. Every sunrise was a new battle. Every meal was uncertain. Every decision could mean the difference between life and death. Deep within an ancient African rainforest, a small group of early humans began another day in search of food. Armed with nothing more than sharpened wooden spears, rough stone tools, and generations of survival instincts, they wandered through the dense jungle looking for anything edible. They searched for roots hidden beneath the soil, berries growing on bushes, wild fruits hanging from trees, and small animals they could hunt. Hours passed. The sun climbed higher. Their stomachs grew emptier. Then something unusual caught their attention. Hidden beneath thick green leaves was a small bush covered with bright red fruits, unlike anything they had ever seen. The fruits were tiny, shiny, and incredibly colorful against the deep green jungle. The group stopped immediately. No one recognized the strange plant. No one knew whether it was food or poison. The oldest members of the tribe carefully observed it from a distance while children hid behind the adults. Silence filled the forest. Then one brave hunter slowly stepped forward. His curiosity was stronger than his fear. He reached out, picked one of the bright red fruits, and held it in his hand. It felt smooth. It looked harmless. He smelled it carefully. Nothing unusual. The entire tribe watched without saying a word. Taking a deep breath, the hunter placed the small fruit into his mouth and bit down. For the first few seconds, nothing happened. Then suddenly, his eyes opened wide. His face turned bright red. His breathing became faster. An intense burning sensation exploded across his mouth. He had never experienced anything like it before. He dropped to his knees, gasping for air as tears rolled down his. Every day brought a new challenge, and every discovery changed the future forever. After their first terrifying experience with wild chili peppers, the tribe didn't forget the strange red fruit. Instead, curiosity pushed them to experiment. Several days later, the hunters returned to the same part of the jungle. The bright red peppers were still there, hanging from the bushes beneath the warm African sun. This time, they collected dozens of them. Back at the camp, the tribe gathered around a crackling fire. One woman placed fresh meat on a hot stones. Another crushed several peppers between two flat rocks, creating a bright red paste. Without knowing what would happen, she spread the crushed peppers over the meat. As the meat roasted over the fire, something incredible happened. A rich, spicy aroma filled the air. The smell was unlike anything they had ever experienced. The entire tribe gathered closer. Even hungry children smiled as the delicious scent drifted through the camp. When the food was finally ready, everyone took small bites. The burning sensation returned, but this time it was different. The spicy flavor mixed perfectly with the smoky taste of roasted meat. Instead of fear, they felt excitement. For the first time, eating became more than survival. It became enjoyment. The tribe began adding wild peppers to roots, berries, fish, and roasted animals. Soon, spicy food became part of daily life. They didn't know it yet, but they were creating one of humanity's oldest cooking traditions. Modern scientists believe capsaicin may have helped reduce harmful bacteria in food, especially in warm climates. Although ancient humans never understood the science, they noticed something important. Food prepared with peppers often smelled fresher. Sometimes it lasted longer. Little by little, the mysterious fruit earned the tribe's trust. Years passed. Children grew into hunters. Parents became elders. And the knowledge of the Phi. That is exactly what happened to one prehistoric tribe nearly 2 million years ago. Life in the ancient wilderness was dangerous. Lions, giant crocodiles, snakes, and hyenas surrounded every journey. Finding food was never guaranteed. One afternoon, while following animal tracks through a dense forest, several young hunters noticed colorful birds eating small red fruits from a bush. The birds showed no signs of pain. The hunters watched carefully. If the birds could eat them safely, maybe humans could too. They collected several peppers and carried them back to camp. The oldest elder warned everyone to be careful. Many beautiful fruits in the wild were deadly. Still, curiosity won. One brave hunter volunteered. He slowly bit into the pepper. Within seconds, his face twisted with shock. His mouth burned like fire. He ran toward the river while the rest of the tribe watched in complete silence. Then, he laughed. The pain slowly faded. Instead of dying, he survived. Soon everyone wanted to experience the mysterious fruit themselves. Some cried. Some laughed. Some coughed endlessly. Children pointed and giggled at the funny reactions. No one realized they were witnessing the beginning of humanity's relationship with spicy food. Over countless generations, the knowledge spread. As tribes migrated into new lands, they searched for similar plants. The tiny red pepper became more than food. It became part of human survival, exploration, and culture. Today, billions of people enjoy spicy meals every day. But every spicy dish, from tacos to curries, from kimchi to hot sauces, may trace its roots back to one unforgettable moment. A curious prehistoric hunter, a mysterious red fruit, and the courage to take the very first bite. Imagine standing in the middle of a prehistoric rainforest nearly 2 million years ago. There are no houses, no farms, and no supermarkets. Every meal must be found in the wild, and every unfamiliar plant could either keep you alive or kill you. For a small tribe of early humans, every day was a dangerous adventure. As the morning sun rose over the ancient African forest, hunters left their campsite carrying only wooden spears and sharp stone tools. Their mission was simple: find enough food before nightfall. Hours passed without success. The forest seemed unusually quiet. The hunters searched beneath trees, dug for edible roots, and climbed rocky hills looking for fruit, but almost everything had already been eaten by birds and wild animals. Just as the group was about to turn back, one young hunter noticed something unusual. Growing beneath a patch of thick green leaves was a bush covered in dozens of tiny, brilliant red fruits. Unlike berries, these fruits were smooth, shiny, and almost glowing in the sunlight. The tribe had never seen them before. Immediately, everyone stopped. The oldest hunter warned the group not to touch the strange plant. Many beautiful fruits in the wild were deadly, and one wrong decision could wipe out the entire tribe. But curiosity is one of humanity's greatest strengths. The youngest hunter slowly stepped forward. He reached out, picked one bright red fruit, and held it carefully between his fingers. He smelled it. Nothing. He squeezed it gently. It felt soft and fresh. The tribe watched in complete silence. Finally, he placed the fruit into his mouth. For a brief moment, everything seemed normal. Then suddenly, his eyes opened wide. His face turned bright red. His breathing became rapid. It felt as though fire had exploded inside his mouth. He dropped the fruit and began coughing. Tears streamed down his face. He grabbed his tongue with both hands as if trying to pull the burning sensation away. Millions of years before the first cities were built, before writing, farming, or even civilization itself, one simple question may have changed the way humans eat forever. Life was brutally difficult. Early humans woke up every morning with only one goal: survive. There were no guaranteed meals. Some days they found fruit. Some days they caught small animals. And on many days, they went to sleep hungry. One warm afternoon, a group of hunter-gatherers wandered deep into an untouched prehistoric forest. The air was thick with humidity. Ancient birds called from the treetops. Insects buzzed around flowering plants. Every sound reminded them that danger could appear at any moment. As they searched for food, one young girl suddenly stopped. She pointed toward a small bush covered with dozens of bright red fruits glowing in the sunlight. The fruits looked fresh, beautiful, almost inviting, but no one had ever seen them before. The tribe gathered around the mysterious plant. Nobody spoke. Everyone remembered stories of poisonous berries that had killed careless animals. The oldest elder slowly picked one fruit and rolled it between his fingers. It looked perfectly harmless. Still, no one dared to eat it. Finally, One fearless hunter stepped forward. He smiled confidently and took the tiny fruit from the elder's hand. Without hesitation, he bit into it. For just 2 seconds, nothing happened. Then suddenly, his entire body froze. His eyes widened. His mouth felt as though it had been filled with burning coals. He dropped to his knees, coughing and gasping for breath. Tears streamed down his face. The children screamed. Several adults rushed toward him, believing the strange fruit had poisoned him. The hunter staggered toward a nearby stream. He scooped water into his mouth again and again, but the burning wouldn't stop. It seemed impossible. How could something so small create such incredible pain? Minute after me knew. There were no grocery stores, no farms, and no recipes passed down in books. Nearly 2 million years ago, survival depended on one simple rule. Find food before something else found you. In the heart of prehistoric Africa, a small tribe of early humans set out before sunrise. The cool morning air filled the forest as birds echoed through the towering trees. Every member of the tribe knew that today's hunt could determine whether they lived or died. The hunters moved carefully through thick vegetation, watching for dangerous predators hiding in the shadows. Giant crocodiles waded near rivers. Massive snakes rested beneath fallen logs, and hungry saber-toothed cats silently watched from a distance. After hours of searching, the group had found almost nothing. No large animals, very few edible roots, only a handful of berries. Hunger was beginning to weaken everyone. Just when hope seemed to disappear, one young woman noticed something unusual growing beside an ancient tree. A small green bush covered with dozens of bright red fruits. They looked beautiful, almost too beautiful. No one recognized them. The tribe formed a circle around the strange plant. Some believed the fruits were a gift from nature. Others feared they were deadly poison. No one wanted to become the first person to test them. The silence grew heavier. Finally, the tribe's bravest hunter stepped forward. Without saying a word, he reached out and carefully picked one of the shining red fruits. He studied it closely. Its smooth skin reflected the sunlight. There was no strange smell, no warning from nature. He slowly placed it into his mouth. For one brief moment, everything seemed perfectly normal. Then, an explosion of burning heat rushed across his tongue. His eyes opened wide. His face turned bright crimson. He coughed violently. His heartbeat raced. It felt as though flames had filled his mouth. The hunter dropped his spear and sprinted toward the river. Imagine traveling back nearly 2 million years to a time when Earth belonged to nature. Dense forests stretched for hundreds of miles. Giant animals roamed freely. Every sunrise brought new dangers, and every sunset was a victory for those who survived. For early humans, life was simple but incredibly difficult. They didn't know what tomorrow would bring. Food was never guaranteed. Every hunting trip was a journey into the unknown. One cool morning, a tribe of hunter-gatherers left their cave before sunrise. The forest was covered in thick fog, and the sounds of distant birds echoed through the ancient trees. Armed with wooden spears and stone axes, they searched for fruit, roots, and small animals. Hours passed with little success. The hunters were exhausted. The children were hungry. Even the strongest members of the tribe began to lose hope. Then, something caught the eye of a young hunter. Near the edge of a rocky hillside grew a strange plant covered with dozens of bright red fruits. The fruits were small, smooth, and almost glowing under the sunlight. No one had ever seen them before. The tribe gathered around the mysterious plant. Some believed it was a gift from nature. Others feared it was a deadly trap. The oldest elder warned everyone not to touch it. Many beautiful plants hide deadly secrets, he seemed to say through gestures. But curiosity has always been one of humanity's greatest strengths. One fearless young woman stepped forward. She carefully picked one of the red fruits and held it in her hand. She examined every detail. It looked harmless. It smelled fresh. After taking a deep breath, she slowly bit into it. For just a second, nothing happened. Then suddenly, a powerful burning sensation exploded inside her mouth. Her eyes widened in shock. Tears rolled down her face. She dropped the fruit and began breathing rapidly. The tribe gasped in fear. Several people rushed toward her, believing she had been poisoned. Nearly 2 million years ago, our prehistoric ancestors lived in a world ruled by nature. Every day was a fight for survival. There were no permanent homes, no stored food, and no guarantee that tomorrow would bring another meal. As the first rays of sunlight broke through the ancient forest, a tribe of early humans left their shelter and began another dangerous search for food. The jungle was alive. Colorful birds flew above the towering trees. Monkeys leaped between branches. Insects buzzed through the humid air. But hidden among this beauty were deadly predators waiting for the perfect moment to attack. The hunters walked carefully, watching every movement around them. After several hours, they had found only a few berries and some edible roots. It wasn't enough. The tribe needed more. Suddenly, one of the children pointed toward a patch of bushes growing beside a rocky cliff. Tiny, bright red fruits covered the branches. They looked fresh, beautiful, unlike anything the tribe had ever seen. Everyone gathered around the strange plant. The elders studied it carefully. Was it food, or was it poison? No one could answer. For several minutes, nobody moved. The entire tribe stared at the mysterious fruits. Finally, the oldest hunter stepped forward. He believed that every mystery in nature had an answer, but someone had to be brave enough to find it. He reached out and picked one of the bright red fruits. He smelled it. Nothing unusual. He rubbed it between his fingers. It felt soft and smooth. With every pair of eyes fixed on him, he slowly placed the fruit into his mouth. He chewed once, twice. Then everything changed. A powerful wave of burning heat rushed across his tongue. His face instantly turned red. His eyes filled with tears. He coughed loudly and dropped to one knee. The tribe panicked. Several people believed the fruit had poisoned him. Children cried as adults rushed toward the struggling hunter. He ran to a near. Millions of years before restaurants, recipes, or even agriculture, early humans depended entirely on nature. Every day began with uncertainty. Every meal was a reward earned through courage, patience, and luck. The earth looked very different then. Vast forests covered the landscape. Giant animals roamed freely. Rivers flowed untouched, and the sounds of birds echoed through ancient trees that had stood for centuries. Deep inside one of these forests, a small tribe of prehistoric humans woke before sunrise. The morning air was cool, but they knew the day would soon become hot. Hunger pushed them forward as they left their campsite, carrying wooden spears, sharp stone blades, and woven leaf baskets. Their mission was simple: find enough food to keep the tribe alive. Hours passed with little success. They dug for edible roots, collected wild fruits, caught a few insects, but it wasn't enough to feed everyone. As the sun reached its highest point, one hunter noticed a bush filled with small, bright red fruits unlike anything they had seen before. The fruits looked beautiful against the green leaves. Some believed they were a gift from nature. Others feared they were poisonous. The tribe hesitated. No one wanted to risk their life. Finally, the bravest hunter stepped forward. He picked one of the tiny red fruits and carefully examined it. He smelled it. Nothing. He pressed it gently between his fingers. Still nothing unusual. With every member of the tribe watching, he slowly placed the fruit into his mouth. He chewed once, then twice. Suddenly, an intense burning sensation spread across his tongue. His eyes widened in disbelief. His face turned bright red. Sweat formed on his forehead. He coughed loudly and rushed toward a nearby stream. The rest of the tribe stood frozen. They believed the mysterious fruit had poisoned him. The hunter drank water again and again. But strangely, the burning refused to disappear. Minutes later, millions of years ago, long before cities, kings, or even farming, nature had already created one of its most brilliant survival strategies. Deep inside the prehistoric forests of ancient Africa, wild plants fought every day to survive. They couldn't run from danger. They couldn't hide from hungry animals. Instead, they evolved incredible defenses. Some plants grew sharp thorns. Others produced deadly poison. and one small plant created something completely different. Fire. Not real fire, but a burning sensation so intense that most animals would never dare eat it twice. This tiny plant was the wild chili pepper. On a warm summer morning, a tribe of early humans wandered through the forest searching for food. They had been hunting since sunrise but had found almost nothing. Their baskets were nearly empty. Their children were hungry. The tribe needed a miracle. As they crossed a narrow stream, one young hunter noticed dozens of bright red fruits growing on a small bush. The fruits looked perfect, bright, fresh, almost impossible to ignore. Nearby birds happily pecked at the fruits without any sign of pain. The hunters watched carefully. If the birds can eat them, maybe we can too, they seemed to think. One brave hunter stepped forward. He picked a single pepper and slowly placed it into his mouth. For a heartbeat, everything seemed fine. Then, suddenly, his mouth exploded with heat. His eyes watered instantly. His face became bright red. He coughed so hard that he dropped his spear. The rest of the tribe stared in complete shock. The hunter ran toward the river and splashed water onto his face again and again. But the burning remained. It felt impossible. How could such a tiny fruit create such overwhelming pain? Minutes later, the burning slowly faded. The hunter stood up. He was alive, completely unharmed. The tribe gathered around him. Fear slowly transformed into curiosity. Soon another hunter tasted the mister. The burning was unbearable. Their eyes filled with tears. Their mouths felt like they were on fire. Every instinct told them to never eat the strange red fruit again. But something unexpected happened. They came back for more. Nearly 2 million years ago, deep within the untouched forests of prehistoric Africa, a small tribe of early humans was unknowingly beginning a relationship that would last for millions of years. Life was harsh. Every sunrise meant another exhausting search for food. Some days the hunters returned with fresh meat. Other days they found only roots, berries, and insects. Every meal depended entirely on nature. One afternoon, while searching near the edge of a river, several young hunters noticed birds flying in and out of a patch of bushes covered with tiny red fruits. The birds ate them without hesitation. They chirped happily before flying away. The humans watched carefully. If the birds can eat them safely, perhaps we can too. One brave hunter stepped forward. He picked one of the bright red fruits. Everyone watched in complete silence. He slowly bit into it. Within seconds, his face twisted with shock. His mouth burned like fire. His eyes watered. He dropped the fruit and rushed toward the river. The tribe believed he had made a terrible mistake. But after several minutes, the burning slowly disappeared. The hunter wasn't sick. He wasn't poisoned. He was completely fine. The next day, something surprising happened. The same hunter returned to the bush. Not because he had forgotten the pain, but because he wanted to understand the mysterious fruit. He picked another pepper. This time, he ate it more slowly. The burning returned. But somehow, it didn't seem as frightening. Soon, other members of the tribe began doing the same. Day after day, they collected more peppers. Some mixed them with roasted meat. Others crushed them into wild roots. The spicy flavor slowly became familiar. The fia. This is not the story of kings or empires. This is the story of one small tribe of prehistoric humans, and a discovery that may have changed the future of food forever. Nearly 2 million years ago, the earth was a wild and unforgiving place. Towering forests covered the land. Massive elephants, giant crocodiles, and deadly predators ruled the wilderness. Every day, early humans risked their lives searching for enough food to survive. One evening, after an exhausting hunt, a small tribe returned to their camp with only a little meat and a handful of edible roots. It wasn't much. The children were hungry. The adults were tired. The tribe gathered around a glowing campfire as the sun slowly disappeared behind the ancient trees. While preparing the meal, one young hunter emptied his woven leaf basket onto the ground. Among the roots and berries rolled several bright red peppers that had been collected earlier that day. No one paid much attention. As the meat roasted over the fire, one of the peppers accidentally fell onto the hot stone beside it. Within seconds, The pepper began to soften. Its skin wrinkled. A rich, smoky aroma drifted through the air. The smell was unlike anything the tribe had ever experienced. Hungry children looked toward the fire. Even the hunters stopped talking. The scent was impossible to ignore. Curious, an elder picked up the roasted pepper using 2 sticks. He crushed it gently and spread it across the cooked meat. Everyone watched closely. Would roasting make it less painful or even more dangerous? The oldest hunter volunteered to taste it first. He slowly lifted a piece of meat to his mouth. He chewed carefully. The familiar burning returned. But this time it was different. The smoky flavor of the roasted meat balanced the heat of the pepper. Instead of overwhelming pain, there was rich flavor. The hunter smiled. Then he reached for another bite. One by one, the rest of the tribe tasted the meal. Not with an empire, not with a king, but with one simple moment of curiosity. Nearly 2 million years ago, deep within the untouched forests of prehistoric Africa, a small tribe of early humans made a discovery they would never forget. It wasn't gold. It wasn't fire. It was a tiny, bright red fruit. At first, the mysterious fruit brought only confusion. The burning sensation was unlike anything they had ever experienced. Their eyes watered. Their mouths felt as if they had been filled with flames. Many believed the strange fruit was dangerous. Some even refused to touch it again. But one young hunter couldn't stop thinking about it. Every time the tribe returned to the forest, he searched for the same red bushes. He noticed something interesting. The healthiest plants always grew in warm, sunny places near rivers and rocky hillsides. Bright green leaves surrounded clusters of fiery red peppers. Birds happily ate the fruits without any sign of pain. Small mammals avoided them completely. The hunter didn't understand why, but he remembered every detail. Weeks later, another tribe passed through the same region. As was common in prehistoric times, the 2 groups met carefully. There were no spoken languages like we have today. Communication happened through gestures, sounds, and shared experiences. Instead of fighting, the first tribe showed the visitors the strange red fruit. The visiting hunters were curious. One of them tasted a pepper, just like before. His face turned bright red. His eyes filled with tears. The entire group burst into laughter. For the first time, 2 different human communities shared the same incredible experience. The discovery didn't stay in one place. As seasons changed, tribes traveled across forests, valleys, and open grasslands searching for food and water. Wherever they went, stories of the mysterious burning fruit traveled with them. Parents taught their children how to recognize the bright red pep. What if one of humanity's greatest food discoveries was inspired by a child? Nearly 2 million years ago, in the heart of an ancient African rainforest, a small tribe of early humans lived a simple but dangerous life. Every morning began with uncertainty. Would they find enough food? Would they avoid deadly predators? Would everyone return safely before sunset? One afternoon, after a long day of gathering fruits and roots, the tribe rested beside a flowing river. Children played near the water while the adults prepared food. One curious child wandered away from the camp. He wasn't hunting. He wasn't searching for danger. He was simply exploring. As he walked through the forest, he noticed a small bush covered with bright red fruits shining beneath the sunlight. The fruits looked beautiful. Their colors stood out against the deep green leaves. The child reached toward the bush. Just before touching one of the fruits, his mother noticed him. She rushed over and gently pulled him away. The adults gathered around the mysterious plant. No one had seen it before. Some believed it was dangerous. Others believed it might be edible. The tribe argued through gestures and expressions. No one wanted to take the first risk. Finally, the oldest hunter stepped forward. He carefully picked one of the bright red fruits. He examined it closely. It looked harmless. He smelled it. Nothing unusual. The entire tribe watched in complete silence. Slowly, he took a bite. Within seconds, his peaceful expression disappeared. His eyes opened wide. His mouth burned with incredible intensity. He coughed loudly. Tears streamed down his face. The hunter dropped the fruit and rushed toward the river. The tribe panicked. Children hid behind their parents. Several adults believed the mysterious fruit was poisonous. The hunter drank water over and over again, but the burning refused to stop. For several long minutes, everyone waited. Then, Papa, nearly 2 million years ago, long before farming, villages, or civilization, every meal was uncertain. Early humans lived one day at a time. If they found food, they survived. If they didn't, hunger followed them into the next sunrise. One cool morning, a tribe of hunter-gatherers left their cave in search of food. The forest was alive with sounds. Birds sang from the tallest trees. Monkeys swung through ancient branches. Far away, the roar of a predator reminded everyone that danger was never far away. The hunters walked carefully, carrying wooden spears tipped with sharp stone points. Women and children gathered roots, berries, and edible plants while watching for snakes hidden beneath the leaves. After many hours of searching, the tribe was rewarded. The hunters successfully brought down a small wild animal. Nearby, the gatherers found baskets full of edible roots, sweet berries, and the mysterious bright red peppers they had recently discovered. Everyone returned to camp before sunset. A fire was lit. The smell of burning wood slowly filled the evening air. The children sat close together, eagerly waiting for dinner. The elders prepared the meat, while younger members cleaned the roots and berries. Then one woman had an unusual idea. She crushed several wild peppers between 2 flat stones until they became a bright red paste. She gently rubbed the paste over the fresh meat before placing it above the fire. As the meat roasted, something extraordinary happened. A rich, smoky aroma mixed with the spicy scent of the peppers. The smell spread across the camp. Even those who weren't hungry looked toward the fire. The meal smelled unlike anything they had ever experienced. When the food was finally ready, the oldest elder took the first bite. The familiar burning returned, but this time it blended perfectly with the smoky meat. Instead of fear, he smiled. One by one, everyone began eating. 7. Laughter echoed through the forest. Chill.